So I am what I consistently do. That's one of my favorite sayings. I've got a men's check-in group that I actually do where we list kind of some different things, what we're reading, what we're working on, what we're grateful for, but we kind of end it with like some sort of motivational thing. And that's one of my go-tos. It's something I've come to believe really strongly that the person that I am today is not determined by my intentions or my thoughts. It's the things I'm actually doing. My name is Coach Bobby Brown with Sober Life Right. What I do is I help other people live their most amazing lives free from drugs and alcohol. I'm also a man in long-term recovery. What that means for me is that today I'm getting to live my own amazing life that I absolutely love and enjoy, and I do it free from drugs and alcohol. I believe that's the only way you can live your best life. And I've been doing that since July 22nd, 2021. I'm going through the book, one of my top 5 favorites, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. This is an absolute, here's my worn out copy. Probably the 3rd or 4th copy that I've owned over the years. Absolute encyclopedia of information on growth and development. It really breaks down just years of Jack Canfield's work on looking at successful people and the things that they share in common. And then he's put this together in these principles. So today's principle, we're on chapter 13. Principle 13 is take action. All right. If you're interested in the book, and I highly recommend it, there is a link in my description. If you like me and you like that I turn you on to this, please use the link to purchase it through Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate. I do make a small commission on that. But the big thing is just seeing as many people as possible read this book. This book has absolutely changed my life in a lot of ways. There's so much good information here, and I'm excited to be doing these videos about it. So let's jump right into the book and why taking action is important. Jack's kind of built this all up over the previous chapter. So let's maybe get caught up on where we're at. I've got videos on every principle up to date, and my game plan is to do a video on every single principle, sometimes 2, because some of it's a lot of information, some of them. But it all started with us making the decision that, okay, we're going to accept total responsibility for our life. That we do have the power to affect outcomes. We are not victims. We can't control what's happening to us, but we can control how we react to it. And so we do have responsibility. Then we took a look at developing a sense of purpose, figuring out why we're here, and then creating a good, firm vision of where we want to be. If you don't have a destination in mind, you're probably not going to get there. From there, we took a look at some belief systems. You've got to believe things are possible. You've got to have some belief in yourself. You've got to have this confidence in yourself to be able to actually do things. Talked about law of attraction. We've talked about setting goals. I'm a big goal setter. I've got 3 whiteboards filled with goals I'm working on right now, and probably 24 others that are kind of in there waiting, maybe not the right time, but things that I eventually want to work on. I've got then we talked about making plans and different ways to make plans. We talked about some of the attitudes that you have to have, how to use visualization to get your subconscious mind working towards it. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff is great, but it doesn't work until you take action. One of the parts of this chapter it talks about is it's like a kind of a subtitle. It says "Ready, Aim, Fire," and it's talking about firing a gun, which is something that from my Army days I am familiar with. When you are getting ready and sighting in on a target, they've got this ready, aim, fire. So you get yourself, you breathe, you get in a position, you exhale at the bottom when your body's the most still, your fingers lightly on the trigger. Now you aim at the target. But nothing happens until you lightly squeeze and you pull that trigger. All right. A couple of things are going to happen. So, for one, you're going to hit something, right? Your very first time, it's probably not going to be the center of the target right where you were aiming, but now you can make an adjustment. And so that when you go back the next shot, if you see that you shot a little to the bottom left, then you can aim your sights slightly to the top right. You can take a look at, okay, well, did you jerk the trigger? Did you start breathing? Were you shaking? Was something else going on? You can make adjustments based off of the feedback that you got from taking action. Having all these plans are great. I know this is something that I have struggled with at different times and still struggle with at times. Like, I can have the greatest plans in the world, but if I'm not taking action towards that, then I'm not going to accomplish anything. I want to relate this back, maybe try to my recovery and what recovery looked like. In 2019 and 2020, I had spent a pretty good time in recovery. I'd abstained from drugs and alcohol for 17 months, ended up relapsing. Returning to use is probably the less stigmatizing term. And during that time, while I was using actively again, like I knew what I needed to do. I had a great plan. I'm a veteran. As a veteran, and for all my veterans out there, the VA will help you from the medical side to get clean from drugs and alcohol. You can walk into a VA medical center and you can let them know that you have trouble with drugs and alcohol, and they will send you to some of the best treatment centers in the world. They'll work with you to do all these things to help you. There's all these different vets programs that are designed to help veterans out. And so I knew this. I had gotten my VA healthcare taken care of, so I could just walk into a VA medical clinic and they would do whatever. And I remember near the end of my last return to use, like when things started to get bad and I could see it, and I knew that even though I was crazy from the drugs that I was doing, that I knew that, okay, well, I can get clean again. I can just do this. All I got to do is go to the VA. Cost me $1.25, much less than the drugs I was buying. All I got to do is go to the VA and just walk in there and tell them I need help, and there'll be a process involved, but I couldn't seem to actually take that action. And so what happened is that things just continued to get worse and worse and worse. I continued to get sick. I continued to get less and less stable. I'd been homeless for a while at that point, but I was at least staying in hotels. But then that kind of fell apart. My people I was surrounding myself with, those relationships just got worse and worse and worse. Started losing more stability there, and eventually, what happened is God had to intercede, and I ended up getting arrested with this plan in my head the whole time on what I should do, and nothing happened because I didn't take action. So let's talk about how, as a coach, because that's what I do, and part of doing these videos, one, I want to share this information. Hopefully I can help a lot of people this way by sharing my experience and sharing the things that I've learned. But I also want to work with amazing people that do want to make a difference in their life. And I think a coach can do a couple of things to help people take action. One is, a coach is great for accountability. I know for myself that if I have an idea of something I want to do and I keep it in my head, the odds of me following through on that, although they're much better than they used to be because I do a lot of work on this, but the odds of me following through on that are much, much lower than once I've told somebody that I'm going to do something. See, now once I've stated something out loud, I've said, I've put some pretty big goals out there. I want to have 1 million views by June 29th on a video. I think my max views today are like 1,000. I want to have $1 million by June 29th. That's pretty crazy, right? Considering that my bank account is, we won't talk about where the bank account's at today. But by saying these things and putting them out there and having people that I am working with to hold me accountable to come up with a plan and to take these actions, I'm taking the steps. And I may not hit either goal. And if I don't, then it's okay. I believe I will. And I'm going to act as if I will, because I believe in the success principles and I believe in the things that we've learned so far. But having a coach in your corner that is there that you can, one is not going to make you feel bad for having these big dreams. You have to have some discernment in who you talk to. One of the quickest ways to not get something is to tell the wrong person, and they immediately, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I know I definitely have. Oh, nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever pay for that. Nobody would ever, no girl would ever be that way. I don't know, whatever you want to say. I don't think you're following me. Hopefully you are. I'm following me. That's, I guess, what's important. But having a coach that is there specifically to be in your corner and to help hold you accountable and help point out to you that if you want these things, like, here's the actions you have to take, and let you know when, hey, you're not taking the actions that it's going to take. Somebody that can be honest with you, so that's the success principle number 13. So if you like these videos, and this is my calls to action, these are the things that I need you to do. Ring the bell. There's a bell down there. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Comment on the video. All these things help me. If you are interested in the book, please get it. I'd love for you to use my link. And then if you know that you're somebody, like, you've thought about a coach before, and then, like, it would be beneficial to your life. That if you had 90 days with somebody that was going to hold you accountable, help you make plans, help you figure out where you want to go, figure out how to get there, somebody that can bring resources into you, somebody that got you and was excited about it, and that, like, knew that big things could be happening if you put action in, then please just put in the comments, coach, and I'll reach out to you, or DM me, or go to my website, www.soberliferight.com, and book an appointment, and let's talk and see where we're at, and see if we can't get together and do some amazing things. That is my mission, to help as many people as possible live an amazing life free from drugs and alcohol, because I believe that's the key to long-term sobriety. So thank you for watching.